Your users aren't mad. They're not emailing support. They're just gone. But what if I told you that a single check-in message sent on day 7 could stop that silent churn cold? Today, we'll show you how to automate personalized check-ins using N8N, Slack, and ChatGPT, so your customers feel like you're actually paying attention. Because here's the truth. If a customer isn't active by day 7, chances are they're never coming back. They didn't hate your product. They didn't even tell you what went wrong. They just faded out. This is called inattention-based churn. It happens when users drift away passively, not because they're unhappy, but because nothing pulled them back in. What if you could catch that fade before it happens? Check-in messages do exactly that, when they're warm, personal, and timed just right. That's timing bias in action. When you reach out at the right time, your message feels helpful instead of annoying. So let's automate it. Over to Alex to show us how to set up a 7-day check-in flow using N8N, Slack, and ChatGPT.
Okay, round 3. So initially, we built an intake agent for new customers. We extended that on the second round by providing a capability to reach out and follow up with an agent. So let's tighten this up a little more. Let's professionalize it. Let's make the agent a little more capable so that we can have it interact or expand its ability without really having to overdefine anything. So I'm going to go in, as always, to N8N. And as always, you can use your preferred automation tool. This is just to provide a platform to give you an idea of what is possible with agents, with AI automation in general. Always welcome to and can use things like Make.com, Power Automate, or even Google's Agent Space, which is coming up for release soon, I think. More on that later. So remember, initially we had our new school AI agent, which took in a form, was triggered by a form actually, getting submitted, and then it would go and write emails and look some stuff up and whatnot. And it's fine. This worked great. It served its purpose. But let's 2.0 this. Let's really make this a little better. And so basically, we've offloaded intake into just on form submission. Just add a customer to the table, essentially mocking up. New customer comes in, put them in your database. We don't need an agent for that. This can be a very simple workflow or any kind of process flow that adds your customer into your database, whether it's CRM or an actual database. That's fine. No agent necessary. What we want to do now is do the customer management agent flow. That's the good stuff. Okay. And in here, we're actually just going to have this thing run hourly. You can change that trigger to anything you want. Minutely, secondly, days. And what this means is that this agent is going to just be woken up every hour and asked to execute its task. So now we have an employee that is just going to come alive once every hour and do their thing. Again, you can do it every second if you want that agent to be going. This suits our purposes. This doesn't look too different than our new school AI agent flow that we built earlier, except it's not triggered by a form submission, and it's literally just having the agent do stuff. So again, we're trying to make this thing as agentic as possible, which means let's not build in all this static actions or logic. Let's just let the AI do its thing by giving it instructions. You'll notice also that I'm using Gemini instead of previously. I was using Azure. I was using GPT-4o Mini. I decided to try 2.0 Flash Lite, and it's very good. I highly recommend it, especially for tool use, which again, this is what this agent is doing. I think it's very, very quick. It's very flexible and it's very accurate. So give it a try when you want. Again, you can bring in any AI or LLM back in that you want. If you're, open AI person, if you're a Azure, Claude, what have you, N8N lets you do that. In this case, I'm using Gemini. It's pretty cool. Again, we have simple memory just so that this agent can go and store previous interactions and then iterate over them. And then I've got my actual tools that I wanted to use. So before we were getting customers table, we were updating customers, we're sending email messages, we got the Slack thing going. This agent, because of our updated prompt, is going to be a little more capable. So the first thing that it's going to do is it's going to come in and actually get emails from the inbox to check on previous interactions with the actual customers. And then it's going to go get the customers table. So now it has this kind of context. It has customers, it has the emails that were sent out previous to them, and then it can go and figure out what interactions it needs to do. Now, as a reminder, this is our customers table. We have 2 in here. We have Chuckles and Red. And they've both kind of been followed up on. We've simplified it so that our AI just needs to come in here, see when the last time they were followed up on, and also, are they a new customer or not? That's really it. We can simplify our data schema in that way, and the AI is going to be perfectly capable in interacting with it. So if we go back to our flow, we'll see that I am enabling it. And again, you'll notice that I'm really specifically naming these actions, update customer table. I am setting the tool description manually. I find that this just helps that AI to utilize these tools much better and in a much more logical way than just depending on that set automatic description. Because you'll notice when you do the automatic description, it's read, update, write data to Google Sheets. Okay, that's fine, but my agent doesn't really know what Google Sheets is in this workflow. My instructions to the agent are get all customer information from the customers table and take the required action, right? So in order to do that, I need to make sure that my tools are semantically understandable to the agent, which means that those out of the box descriptions aren't going to work. It's going to be like, okay, what is Google Sheets? I need to know about customer table. So again, you might want to have to come in and update your actions so that they are semantically understandable to the AI. And that means actual useful, like action names, action descriptions, stuff that aligns with your task to the agent itself. Same with update customer tables, update data in the customer table. You can see here, I set that description. And emailing, getting emails. This one, get all messages so that it knows, I can use this tool to get all email messages, which is something that we're asking it to do. Make sure to get emails in the inbox and sent folder. So again, your actions, the names, the descriptions, they do matter. And it is very important to align these with your prompts and your system message to your agent. And send Slack message. That one's, kind of self-explanatory. This agent now, because of my instructions to it, is very capable, and I don't necessarily need to tell it every little specific thing. I can just give it broad, this is what you need to do, or this is your broad parameters on how you complete your job. And it's able to go and action upon that very accurately and good. So it comes down to our prompt. If a customer is new, write a warm, first name personalized. Now, how does it know if a customer is new or not? I'm giving it actually the customer table schema, right? So the schema for this, I'm basically telling it, this is what each column is, and this is what it means. And this will make our AI, our LLM, our agent, much more accurate. It's going to know, this is what goes in this place. And this is no different than if you're giving someone a task to do, a really smart intern. You want to make sure that they have all the information applicable to the task you're giving them. And so one thing is providing just table schema so that I know the LLM will accurately interact with our table, populate stuff correctly, or interpret the information in that table correctly without me hoping that it infers things. Or makes guesstimates. So this is very important, providing a table schema. And then just, hey, if a customer has not been followed up with in over 2 days since the last follow-up date, it's going to follow up again. So remember, initially in our new school AI agent flow, we were just telling it, hey, this is when to follow up with a customer, or after 2 days, this is when you want to send the email XYZ. Here, we're giving it more broad remit. We're letting it decide, is it time to follow up? These are the parameters I need to, adhere to if something is to be followed up on. So whether this runs for 6 days, 8 days, 10 days, we can be assured that a customer is going to be followed up on with every 2 days. So I don't need to have a specific flow that says follow up with a customer in 7 days. And then I'll have another flow that's follow up with a customer in 8 days. No, this one will handle it. It'll fire up. It'll go and do its thing. It'll evaluate when the customer was last talked to and does the customer need to be followed up with. So in this, we have a very flexible agent that can satisfy tasks as a customer service agent without us having to have a lot of individual flows for each specific thing we want to happen in our customer service pipeline. System message is super important. Again, it kind of reiterates and hammers in, this is your broad remit. And then we have our actual prompt. This one is the one that fires first, telling them exactly, hey, this is what you need to do when you find this thing. So again, this flow right here is very, very good. I highly recommend it. This will enable your agent to provide customer service to new and existing customers in your database, in your CRM, in your Google Sheet, your poor man's database. This will allow it to come in, interact with them, send the requisite follow-ups, new emails, continually without you having to come in and over-define or over-prescribe every single specific action that you can conceive of. We can just keep adding to this agent. Play around with it. Again, Gemini Flash 2.0. I want to use 2.5. 2.0 is pretty sick. Highly recommend it. We can keep and will keep adding to this as we have more use cases and as we explore more opportunities with following up with our customers, with outreach, with making sure that there's no drop in our interaction and building that trust relationship with new or even existing customers. This agent will help us do that.
Most companies wait until users churn to act. You're doing something smarter. You're checking in before they disengage. You're making them feel supported even if they've been quiet. And you're building trust at the exact moment they're about to drift. This isn't just a retention play, it's an LTV multiplier, and it runs itself. And why does it work? Because it taps into loss aversion. People are more likely to stick around when they're reminded of what they might lose right before they disconnect. If this helped you rethink how you do customer engagement, hit the like button and drop a comment. What's your favorite type of customer follow-up? Is it DM, email, or in-app? You'll find the exact ChatGPT prompt used in this episode down in the comments. Feel free to grab it, customize it, and ship it. And if you want more AI growth automations that reduce churn and boost revenue, make sure you subscribe because episode 4 is where things get even more interesting.